So Bath & Body Works is always doing this thing, and I think it drives all of us at least a little bit crazy. First, what they do is they make the perfect fragrance, but then they discontinue it. Lavender, spring, apricot. But then on the other hand, they discontinue fragrances and then bring them back as new fragrances, even though they're the same fragrance. So in today's video, we are going to be deep diving into 3 fragrances by Bath & Body Works that are rumored to be duplicates or at least very similar. So stay tuned and keep watching this video because I'm going to be giving you an in-depth review and comparison of these 3 fragrances. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Melissa and I used to be a part-time manager at a Bath & Body Works for 6 years, and so now I'm here on YouTube making content all about Bath & Body Works. So if you like these kinds of videos, then make sure you subscribe to my channel down below, and now I'm going to give you a review and comparison to 3 fragrances: Whipped Berry Meringue, Pinkberry Clouds, and Cotton Candy Clouds. So the first fragrance we are looking at is Pinkberry Clouds, and this was actually released in the autumn of 2021. It did come in an assortment of body care items, including a scrub and I believe a moisturizing body wash, as well as fine fragrance mist, lotion, body cream, and shower gel. The Pinkberry Clouds was one fragrance out of 3 of its collection. It was kind of a fresh air, outdoorsy kind of autumnal line. The other 2 fragrances in its collection were Sunrise Woods and Lakeside Breeze. Of the 3, this one was the most gourmand, although it does have little hints of fresh outdoorsiness. So the fragrance notes, they are strawberry spun sugar, marshmallow fluff, and fresh air. I have noticed that Pinkberry Clouds is going to be back for this fall of 2022 as well. So the next fragrance we're taking a look at is Whipped Berry Meringue, and this one was released spring of 2022, so this year. And this one was a part of a collection that also had bubbly rosé, pear creme brulee, peach prosecco macron, and I think that's it. While Whipped Berry Meringue was a part of the clearance for semi-annual sale this summer, I do make a prediction that we will not be seeing the end of Whipped Berry Meringue in the future. The fragrance notes are fresh berries, whipped sugar, and fluffy vanilla. And last of the 3 that we will be covering is Cotton Candy Clouds. This Cotton Candy Clouds was new for this semi-annual sale. It was a part of their Bought for Sale Carnival collection, but this is not the first time we have seen Cotton Candy Clouds. This is actually a repackage. It was first introduced the summer of 2020 and it looked like this. Other fragrances in this particular collection also include the Orange Vanilla Twist, Cinnamon Sugar Donut, and Bubblegum Pop. The notes specifically on this one are spun sugar, pink berries, and whipped vanilla. Are you starting to see why they are so similar? So all 3 of these fragrances have some type of sugar note, some type of vanilla note, and some type of berry note. The one kind of outlier note that only exists in Pinkberry Clouds is fresh air. So the vanilla common connector is marshmallow fluff in the Pinkberry Clouds, whipped vanilla in the Cotton Candy Clouds, and fluffy vanilla. So it's all essentially vanilla, but just different descriptive words. So we can assume that that note is all kind of the same component. Also, this one says it's more of a marshmallow, which marshmallow, in my opinion, does smell quite different than just basic vanilla. Whipped Berry Meringue has juicy berries, while the Pinkberry Cloud specifically notates that it's strawberry, and the Cotton Candy just says pink berries, which I guess also raspberries could be a pink berry besides strawberries. So not much variation within the notes, just reading them. Now let's do some sniffing. First, I'm going to spray them in the cap for a neutral kind of surface, and then I'm also going to spray them on my skin to see how the body chemistry kind of comes into play. Let's check Pinkberry Clouds first. If I were to smell this blind without knowing exactly what I was smelling, I would say that this is a very cotton candy-like fragrance. While it is sweet, I wouldn't say it's necessarily gourmand. It almost has more of a woodsy, marshmallow is a good way to describe it, because oftentimes paired with marshmallow is kind of a more woodsy note in Bath & Body Works fragrances. I do get kind of a little bit of a fruity note on top, but it's really not the first fragrance note that I noticed. Like if I were to say what the main note is, I would probably say a marshmallow woodsy fragrance. And then the more fruity notes and the woodsy notes come more afterwards. So that's smelling it on a neutral surface. Now I'm gonna spray it on my skin. I'm gonna try and do it on the very top of my wrist here, closest to my hand. Also, pro tip, make sure you air out your fragrances. Don't rub them in, because when you add friction and kind of that motion by rubbing together, it will change the way the molecules of the fragrance work. It's just kind of the way my body works, but I'm getting a lot of fruity notes in this first kind of sniff. It's kind of the strongest note that comes out when it's like fresh with the alcohol, but as it dries away, definitely more woodsy and earthy, while still kind of maintaining that marshmallow kind of cotton candy sweet fragrance. Okay, I am noticing differences already from Cotton Candy Clouds to Pinkberry Clouds, so that's good. They are different fragrances for sure. Very, very similar. If you like one, you will definitely like the other. I can tell you that much. It definitely is less sophisticated than the Pinkberry Clouds. It doesn't have that woodsy note at all. It doesn't really have a richness. It's more of a light, fluffy, airy fragrance. It's not marshmallowy at all. It's more bright. This one is really prominent of its top notes. It's really what's shining in this fragrance, while in the Pinkberry Clouds, it was more about those base root notes that were really grounding it. Cotton Candy Clouds, definitely less fruity, more candy vanilla. I'm gonna sniff it now on my skin. I'm definitely getting childlike perfume vibes from the cotton candy when it's on my skin. I remember having a juice bar fragrance of the cotton candy. Oh man, and it smells identical to that when it's fresh on the skin. But as it dries away, I'm definitely getting a light, creamy vanilla fragrance. Also not very strong. The Cotton Candy Clouds is definitely more of an edible gourmand, while the Pinkberry Clouds is more of a fancy schmancy, perfumey, upscale vibes gourmand, if that makes sense. Last but not least, let's sniff some whipped berry meringue. This is a tough one. I know it's definitely whipped berry meringue is a different fragrance than Pinkberry Clouds. I know that for sure. But the real question is it different from Cotton Candy Clouds? I want to say they're the same. Part of me thinks that they're different. I'm pretty sure that whipped berry meringue and Cotton Candy Clouds are the same. But my mind might be playing with me a little bit. If they are different, I think if there's a difference at all, whipped berry meringue has a little bit more of a fruity note because of the berries in it, while the Cotton Candy Clouds is more vanilla. They are so similar, it's almost not even worth noting the differences, but I think that maybe they are a little bit different. It is quite unusual for Bath & Body Works to have both whipped berry meringue and Cotton Candy Clouds being sold at the same time if they are known to be the same fragrance. That's just not like them, and it's not really in their favor for marketing and just making good sales choices, because they want to make as many unique, different fragrances as possible so that they can reach more customers depending on their needs, instead of making fragrances that are like all the same. You know what I mean? So from a business standpoint, I don't think it's a wise choice that they would actually do that. But at the same time, you just never know. I mean, a lot of sales has to do with marketing and packaging, and Cotton Candy Clouds might sound and feel different enough to somebody that they might prefer that over cotton candy. Unpopular opinion. I've been seeing everybody online saying Cotton Candy Clouds and whipped berry meringue are the same. But now that I'm smelling them on my skin, I'm gonna go on the record and say that they are ever so slightly different. The whipped berry meringue almost has more of a saturated kind of scent to it, while the Cotton Candy Clouds was more airy and light. Smelling where I did the Cotton Candy Clouds, it almost is just like a light dusting of like a sugary candy fragrance, like that kind of artificial cotton candy thing that you would normally think of when you think of cotton candy. But when I'm smelling the whipped berry meringue, it smells more syrupy, you know? And it's more fruity and more rich. But then the Pinkberry Clouds is so much more woodsy on my skin and fancy. It's like a little more of an upscale fragrance. All three of these fragrances, Pinkberry Clouds, Cotton Candy Clouds, whipped berry meringue, are indeed different fragrances from each other. Pinkberry Clouds is the winner for the most unique of the three. It definitely has more of an autumnal vibe going on in it. The base notes is really what makes this fragrance unique from the other ones, because it is more fancy and upscale. It's a little more perfumed and woodsy, while these ones are a little more youthful and playful. The most playful and airy of the three fragrances is definitely the Cotton Candy Clouds. If you're going for the most fun, playful, or even child-friendly fragrance, Cotton Candy Clouds is gonna be your winner. It's definitely the most sugary, the softest, the lightest, and it does have like a nice freshness, sweetness to it. It's definitely also the least perfumey of the three. And then whipped berry meringue is kind of like the happy medium of these two fragrances. It has kind of the more perfumed saturated, strengthy vibe as Pinkberry Clouds has, but it still has that light, airy playfulness that the Cotton Candy Clouds has. I just wanted to wrap up this video with saying that now that many minutes have passed since I've sprayed my arm, the one that has lasted on my skin the longest was definitely by far the Pinkberry Clouds. And ironically, I think in second place actually would be the Cotton Candy Clouds for the long lasting. Even though this went on the softest of the three and the whipped berry meringue was more saturated than this one, something about this one lasted longer than the whipped berry meringue on my skin. Out of the ballpark, this one definitely was the long lasting one of the three. I hope that you found this video helpful. If it did, then make sure you give it a big thumbs up and definitely let me know in the comments which of the three fragrances are your favorite. Also, if you have a set of fragrances you would like compared or described, then let me know that in the comment section as well, and I will see you next Monday. Bye!